The Trump campaign has hauled in $46 million in the fourth quarter. As the title says here, unprecedented fundraising, far overshadowing any of his Democrat challengers. So let's read this and then let's figure out, I wonder why Trump is raising so much money. Could it possibly be because the central moderate base of the United States is looking at the Democrats like they have two heads, which they kind of do. They are discombobulated. They are all over the place. They can't agree on anything. The impeachment debacle has not helped the Democrats at all. It has helped Trump, and the Democrats will not learn. It has become a religion. Believe this or else. Believe this or else. And the Democrat base will follow any which way that Pelosi and Schiff tell them to go, regardless of the consequences. Why? I don't know, because they can't take a step back from their partisan lines and look at things from a third-party perspective, let's say. So let's read this. This is from CBS News. President Trump's re-election campaign raked in $46 million in the fourth quarter of 2019 in support of the president's bid for a second term, the Trump campaign announced on Thursday. Yeah, and most early guesses put Trump as most likely probably going to win. The Democrats cannot stop their slip-ups, their gaffes, their bad policies. They're clinging on to certain points like a dang religion, like they cannot let go. You are excommunicated if you don't vote a certain way, which is why a certain Democrat switched to Republican, because they told him that he has to vote or he will not have a chance of re-election. It sounds like a religion. The haul for the final months of the year marks the best fundraising quarter of the 2020 election cycle for the president's re-election campaign, according to the Trump campaign, and eclipses fourth quarter fundraising totals reported so far by his Democratic competitors, including Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, who raised $34.5 million. I think I saw this morning it was up to $46 million or $44 million from October through December. Former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg raised $24.7 million in the last quarter of 2019. So they're not even really close at all. Now, that said, I don't believe money should elect our president. I really don't. I know you need advertising today. You need commercials. You need all this stuff that takes money nowadays, or you don't get the recognition. But it kind of sucks that, quite honestly, whoever has the most money is most likely to win. I wish we could change that. How you change that, I don't know. Get rid of commercials? Yeah, right. Sure. President Trump's unprecedented fundraising is a testament to his wide grassroots support and his stellar record of achievement on behalf of the American people, Brad Parscale, Trump's campaign manager, said in a statement. Now, excuse me. One thing that Trump has done is he has worked on the things that he campaigned on. He said he was going to work on the border. He has worked on the border. He said he wouldn't start any new wars. He has not started any new wars. That's huge. He hasn't started any new wars. And I remember during the election, last election cycle, people were saying, he's going to start wars. He's boorish. He's crass. He's a bully. But he hasn't started any wars. And he actually has worked on the things that he campaigned on. So if you voted for Trump and he's worked on the things that he said he would campaign on and he's actually worked on them, well, then you're going to be very pleased with Trump. And he did get elected. So will he get elected again? I don't know. It kind of looks that way, doesn't it? It really does. The Trump campaign raised $143 million in total in 2019. Wow. And closed out the year with $102.7 million in cash on hand. That is crazy. The $46 million brought in for the last 3 months of the year represent donations made only to the campaign and does not include money raised by the Republican National Committee or other joint fundraising committees, the campaign said. So he's going to have even more money once the RNC releases it, which, I mean, That's a massive amount of money. That's a lot of money. The massive haul came as House Democrats' impeachment inquiry against Mr. Trump over his conduct with Ukraine entered its public phase and ultimately led to the historic party line vote. Yeah, and it was almost on party lines. Not one Republican voted yes, but we did have some Democrats vote no or present. I really wish the impeachment would go to Senate, and I'd like to see a trial, and I'd like to see witnesses. Do I think there should be witnesses? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I know that they say the House is the witness part and the Senate is the trial, but I want to see more witnesses because we're not getting the full story, and I think we deserve the full story, no matter which way it goes. It's not in support of Trump, it's in support of rule of law, equal application of law, and the office of the president. So, let's see here. The House approved 2 articles of impeachment, abuse of power, and obstruction of Congress against Mr. Trump, which are not, incidentally, the 2 articles that we were told we would get. We were told we'd get some very specific articles, and we got some very broad articles. And then they don't even want to send the articles on, so what the hey? He's the most dangerous person. We got to get him out of office now. We have to do a record-breaking, breakneck speed impeachment. And now that we have voted for impeachment, we're going to do nothing. What happened to him being the most dangerous man you can think of, and you have to get him out of office now? Nancy Pelosi. And Schiff, with your lying, this is what we're going to hear. Yeah, we never heard any of that, Schiff. I will not let the American people let down or forget that Adam Schiff, during the first part of the hearing, read a statement saying that we are going to hear Trump say, I want this here, you see, like some frickin' gangster, and we never heard any of that. In fact, we heard just the opposite. But the Trump campaign and the Republican National Committee have said the impeachment inquiry launched by the House Democrats has been a boon to his re-election efforts. And it has. It makes Democrats look like idiots. It makes them look like religious people hanging on to a religious doctrine. And if you believe anything but this religious doctrine, then you are the enemy. And on the outside looking in, that's what I see. And there are a lot of normal, everyday people who aren't very political who see it the same way. Like, this doesn't make sense. The transcripts of phone calls say one thing. Schiff says we're going to hear one thing. We never hear that. Let's impeach him. Let's hold on to the letters and not impeach him. Is he actually impeached? What in the hell is going on? And this is why people are looking at the Republican Party, because they're unified at least. The Democrats are fractured all over the place. And this impeachment thing has just highlighted it. The party brought in $20.6 million in November alone, making it the most successful November in its history, according to Fox News. Additionally, on the day the House approved 2 articles of impeachment against the president, the Trump campaign brought in more than $5 million. On that day, they brought in $5 million. If that's not a statement, I know they say money is free speech. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that money is free speech, but money can tell you what the people are thinking. And if after this, all of a sudden he gets a huge boom of money, then people are thinking, no, fight this. This is retarded. It's not the extreme left or the extreme right. It's not the staunch supporters that the 2 bases, the Democrats and the Republicans, need to go after. It's the people like me in the middle looking at both sides like, what the hell? The moderates. And the Democrats are losing the moderates in droves. And when the Democrats lose moderate in droves, well, they're going to go Republican. They might go independent, or they might not vote at all, but generally they're going to go Republican because, yeah, I know we have 2 parties and we have some other little parties, but the odds of the other little parties being able to do anything really isn't much, so they go to the Republican Party. In the third quarter of 2019, the Trump campaign and the Republican National Committee brought in a combined $125 million. The president's war chest and grassroots army make his re-election campaign an unstoppable juggernaut, Pascal said Thursday. And they might be right. A lot of polls are putting, early polls and opinions are putting Trump as most likely winning. The Democrats' gaffing just does not stop. Joe Biden is no longer the front runner. Good. I would not like a choice of voting for Joe Biden or Trump. I'm not a supporter of Trump. I am a supporter of the President of the United States and the position and the office and the respect that it deserves. And the rule of law and equal application and reality-based looking at the news like, okay, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? Now, why did Trump gain all this money? Well, because the Democrats' position doesn't make sense to moderates. Moderates are looking at the Democrats like you are fractured. You're done. You're all over the place. I don't know. It'll be an interesting election year. I fully expect it to be a mudslinging year. Absolutely a mudslinging year. I don't like mudslinging campaigns. I really don't. I think it pulls away from the policy. I want to hear the policy. I want to hear what they're going to do. I want to hear the direction that they're going to take the country. I don't want to hear this person did this horrible thing that I think is awful, and yeah. I don't care. What are your policies? What are your standpoints? Where do you stand? Where are you going to take this country? What are your beliefs? What do you believe on the border, foreign policy, health care for all, the minimum wage? Are you going to raise it? Are you going to keep it the same? What are you going to do? I don't want this mudslinging, but I have a prediction that this is going to be a very, very mudslinging election cycle. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you support impeachment? Do you think Trump should be impeached? Do you think impeachment was a sham? It didn't make sense. It was very poorly done. Even if there was evidence that Trump directly said, I want this done or you're not getting the money, the way the Democrats handled it was so discombobulated, and it seems so one-sided and so unfair with some of the rules that they had down that they didn't allow some people to talk. They gaffed people down at other points. And then Schiff didn't add to it with his lies in the beginning. That really set the tone for it for me. Hearing Schiff is going to Adam Schiff saying, "Well, you're going to hear President Trump." Paraphrasing, basically say, yeah, see, I want you to investigate Biden, see, and help me with my campaign, you see, and you're not going to get the money unless you do that, see, you see here? And Schiff saying, basically, we're going to hear that a bunch of times in the transcripts and this and that, and here I am like, okay, if we hear that, I'm down, let's hear the evidence. Never heard anything like that. Not one bit, not even close to any of that. And he read it into record and then later said it was a parody. You read it into record. You don't read a record into parody. You lied, not realizing that Donald Trump would release the transcripts and that you thought it would all be hush-hush and that it was a soundbite. That's all it was. And this whole impeachment was like a bunch of sound bites. If you'll notice, all the witnesses, their first statements were something that seemed damning, that the news could print up, so-and-so said this damning thing. But then when questioned and pushed on it, they said, well, yeah, it was opinion, or yeah, it was overheard, or yeah, it didn't actually happen that way. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I accept that, and I will fully admit that I'm wrong, but somebody's got to prove, or at least discuss to me, show me why I'm wrong. Comment, like, subscribe. This election cycle is going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of finger pointing, a lot of mudslinging. I almost guarantee it. Almost guarantee it. Maybe they'll wise up and we can have an election finally where we're hearing talking points of their policies. But I doubt it. We're going to gaffe after gaffe after gaffe after gaffe. But let me know what you guys think. This is your opinion. You guys are here as well. We're all involved in this, so let me know what you think. Give a thumbs up, thumbs down, like, subscribe, comment, and let me know what you think. I will see you guys on the next one. It was early in the morning, and I need some coffee.